Alright everyone, welcome to another training video. Now, apologies for not uploading for the past couple of weeks, but I'm here now and I'm going to cover 3 weeks worth of content in this one video. So I am going to try and make it as concise as possible, but I also have a couple of announcements to make, so let's get started. Firstly, I would like to announce that Never is back on YouTube. Now, I know a lot of my subscriber base came from Never. He's helped me out a lot in the past, so to be honest, the least I can do is tell you all that he's back on YouTube, and I'll leave a link down below in the description. Now, I know my subscriber base is mixed. A lot of you like Never, think he's great. A lot of you dislike him, okay? But all I'm going to say is those of you who like him, please go over to his channel, give him support, subscribe. But those of you who don't like him, don't go over there. There's no need to go over to his channel and chat shit in the comment section. That is going to cause nothing productive. So, that's all I'm going to say on that. If you like him, go over there, give him some support. If you don't, that's fine. But this is just for an announcement for them people who are interested in Never's content. So anyway, the next announcement is for the past week, I've been on holiday. So as you can imagine, no training took place then. So when I release my next video covering week 9, you'll see that some of the weights are similar to what are in this table. It's not because I've been stalling on the program or the program's not working. It's just because I took a week off on holiday. And even though it was a week off, there was a lot of drinking. Didn't eat that much food, so I lost a bit of weight. And yeah, it wasn't the best recovery week, but it was a fun time. And you should always remember that fitness, all this bodybuilding stuff, okay, it should enhance your life, not be your life, okay? Remember that. But as you can see on the table, week 6 was a really good week of training, standard linear progression, all the weights going up in a linear fashion. Really happy with that, no complaints. As you can see, I've swapped out the power clean for the row, just because I'm doing a lot of technique work on all my other lifts. I'm trying to perfect them. The last thing I need in the mix is a power clean, especially since I don't have a coach, Could you teach yourself the power clean? Of course you could, If you want to be a competitive weightlifter, get yourself a coach. But for the average person, with a bit of dedication, watching the right tutorials, getting informed about the lift, you could definitely teach yourself. And I've talked to a lot of people in the comment section who have taught themselves the lift, and they're pretty strong at it as well. But right now, for my purposes, I'm just going to go with a barbell row. Apart from that, as you can see, everything else went good in week 6. But now in week 7, basically, week 7, day 1 was an absolute disaster. The rest of the week went fine, but just that week 7, day 1, I think it had been a very big weekend of drinking and not a lot of food. And then I was training in the nighttime on week 7, day 1, and a full day of work. I think I'd had an apple, so I wasn't fully fasted, but I legitimately only had an apple. And apart from that, I guess I'd been fasted for 20 hours or whatever. So yeah, I was not really on top shape, but I gave it my all. I did go for that 100 kilo squat, and I did get out some reps. I got the full 5, but the depth wasn't quite there. It wasn't bad, it wasn't horrific. It wasn't like I was doing quarter squats, but the depth wasn't quite there. And when I tried to repeat that set, usually I do 3 sets of 5, honestly, I felt like I was going to collapse. I descended about a quarter of the way, and I just had to go back up because I knew it was just dangerous and a stupid idea. So I had to leave it there. Because yeah, I love all this stuff that's going on on YouTube about the mindset, no limits, push through it. That's great. I really love all that stuff. But at the same time, you can't be stupid about things. If you get that bar on your back and you're like, this is really not good, I'm feeling a bit faint here, it's not like you're being a pussy or whatever you want to call it, all right? You're just using a bit of common sense there. So you got to have the common sense to know when to use common sense and listen to your body, and when to push forward, okay? But yeah, it happens. Everyone's going to have these bad days, and I'm glad that it did come up, because a lot of you might have been looking at my training and thinking, wow, this is, and I know I've talked to a lot of you, this is going perfect, your linear progression is fine. How come mine's not like that? How come I'm having these bad days? Even I have bad days. Everyone has bad days, okay? It's not going to be perfect. If you were always getting 12 hours sleep a night, all your calories from nutritious food, you had a stress-free life, then you were very, very lucky. But I am yet to meet someone who has all that, okay? So don't beat yourself up if you have a bad weekend, you know, because it might be a bad weekend in terms of training, but that weekend was great. Went out with all my friends, had a lot of drinks, it was fun. And this is the thing, like I said before, fitness should enhance your life. It shouldn't be your life, okay? I'm going to repeat that. Fitness should enhance your life. It shouldn't be your life, okay? So I know a lot of you were thinking, Sam, you failed the program. No good. You're giving starting strength a bad rep. Look, I'm just a legitimate person running this program, okay? No one's perfect. And I'd see all these people saying like, some people are like, oh, you should run starting strength for 8 weeks and then you should be squatting 315 for 5 reps. So it's like, okay, that's this hypothetical person who's very genetically blessed and has no life outside of the gym. Okay, maybe he could pull it off, but I'm not that person, okay? So I'm sorry to disappoint. But anyway, that's about all I can say for this couple of weeks of training. As you can see, the deadlift also in week 7, day 1. Couldn't even get any reps out. Back down to 110, got 5 reps, but it felt like about 140 kilos or something ridiculously heavy. So yeah, that was a bad day, but the rest of the week went fine. And yeah, let's get into the training footage. Alright, so we're going to kick off the training clips with 120 kilo deadlift for 5 reps. Now this is my heaviest conventional deadlift of all time with good form as far as I'm aware. So super happy with this. This is a PR for me. Although I have actually years ago pulled a heavier weight on a conventional deadlift. The issue is my back looked a little bit like it does on screen now. So yeah, Snap City to say the least. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not totally against the rounded back deadlift as a movement. I think it's good to explore all different movement patterns and they all have the benefits. But in terms of doing an all-out max and just deadlifting every day like a banana, probably not a good idea, okay? And that's what I used to do years ago. So yeah, you might be able to pull more weight like that, but trust me, it got me nowhere fast. But anyway, as you can see, maintaining a good neutral spine throughout, which is great to see, but something that a lot of you have pointed out is that perhaps I could do with a slightly wider stance in this deadlift and a bit more knee bend, kind of squatting into it a little bit more. So I am going to be working on that, and as you'll see in my week 9 video when I upload that shortly, my deadlift is looking a lot better. But yeah, you know, still, nevertheless, I pulled 120 from the floor for 5 reps with good technique. So super happy with that. And I'm just going to grab the camera now and show you the weight. Even though a lot of you might laugh about me showing the weight, you know, it's just become a big thing, hasn't it, like on YouTube about people, whatever, faking weights or stuff. So, you know, just make sure to get that on camera every time, just so there's no quarrels. Even though it seems stupid for a novice to be pretending about his weights, you know, who knows? Okay, so here, this was the 125 kilo deadlift from week 7. And as you can see, I'm really trying to pull it. I mean, one thing that I do notice on this is I'm a little bit too forward over the bar. So obviously that's not going to help because my center of mass is going to be a little bit off, you know. But still, even with that slight technique issue going on there, I should have been able to pull it for at least 1 rep, you know. So that's what happens when you're under recovered. You don't hit the weight. But here I'm doing some overhead press, and I think this was my heaviest set throughout the week. So I think this was 46.5 kilos. Now I don't actually show the weight on the bar on this, so I will remember to next time I do the press, so you know I'm not lying. But yeah, as you can see, press technique looking pretty good. Not perfect by any means, but not dangerous at the same time. And it is going up, the weight's increasing. It's going to be results showing in all my traps, shoulders and triceps from all this overhead pressing. So really happy with how that's going. Now this was my set with 100 kilos, okay? So like I was saying on week 7, day 1, this was when I attempted it, highly fatigued and whatever. I say fatigued, you know what I mean. But yeah, you judge for yourself what you think about the depth. Like on that first rep, it wasn't too bad, but you'll see as the reps progress, depth gets a little bit more shit. But yeah, I mean, even with the perhaps depth not being quite optimal. You gotta think, like, a couple of weeks back, like, whatever, talking about 6 weeks ago, think how much my squat has come on. Like, I was squatting 35 kilos. The technique was maybe not dangerous with that weight, but, you know, it wasn't great at all. So this is a big thing for me. I know a lot of you will be laughing and talking to people who's like, well, I squatted 2 plates without any training. Well, that's great for you, okay? But I'm not you. And like I said, the only person you should be competing with yourself, the only person you should be competing with is yourself, okay? Not anyone else. So, you know, obviously unless you're a competitive lifter, in which case, then you're in the game to compete with other people. But for me, it's just, you know, competing against myself, trying to better myself each and every day. There you go. 220s on the bar. And this was the set after when I tried 95 kilos. So again, highly fatigued at this point. Like I said, I tried 100 kilos again, but it didn't happen. In fact, I think this was actually 90 kilos, sorry. But yeah, you'll see what happened with this set. So I got my first one, looked okay. A little slow perhaps for 90 kilos. I'd like it a little faster than that, but nevertheless, good rep. And then that one, just about hitting parallel and back up. But then I had to rack it. And, you know, when you watch the clips and when I rewatch the clips, sometimes you think it didn't look that difficult, but it's a total different thing actually watching it to being the person squatting, okay? And I'm sure you guys know that, a lot of you lift, so sometimes you might rewatch the clips if you film yourself and you'll think, oh, I could have got more, but in the moment you're like, nope, that ain't happening. Now here is a much better set of 95 for 5 reps. Now this was on week 7, day 3. And as you can see, I'm really happy with the depth that I was getting on this. You know, it's pretty good for a low bar squat as far as I'm aware. Like I say, I'm not an expert on the low bar squat by any means. You can tell that by the amount of weight I'm using. But it is breaking below parallel, just about. So I was really happy with how that went. Again, I am going to be continuing to work on my squat technique. It's an ongoing project, but at the moment I am making strides in the right direction. But yeah, I gotta say, you know, the thing is, I'm slowly understanding how to use the hip drive correctly. The thing is though, I have a tendency to over-exaggerate the hip drive cue, so then it ends up looking something like a stripper squat. So your ass just flies up in the air, you end up like completely horizontal to the ground, and then you like good morning get up. I've got a big tendency to do that now. It can help me get out of the bottom when I'm using that hip drive, but the problem is I'm not keeping my chest up at the same time, so something I'm going to be working on, but I'll get there in the end, eh? So here, it's just a set of the chin-ups. Now, I know a lot of you might have seen my previous video where I did the full range chin-ups, so as you'll know, I've been working on getting that full range of motion, that bar below the nipple line, but here's just a random clip. Now, I'm not sure from which day this was exactly, or if I was just messing about for a set or something, but I've got a bit of weight on the belt. I think it's 5 kilos actually. I think this was the first day I actually managed to do it. I was just playing around a little bit. But yeah, as you can see, I think I got a triple with 5 kilos, but that wasn't officially in the program. That was just me messing about, but I couldn't find the original clips. So here was the heaviest bench press that I've done so far. 5 reps, 77.5 kilos. So that's going really well. And I'm just hoping to hit that 80 kilos soon. You know, I know a lot of you have been talking about how I should up the volume on the bench. And I think totally that could be a great strategy. But I'm just gonna go with this microloading for now. But if the microloading gets absolutely ridiculous, you know, like at this level, if I'm like only adding like, I don't know, like half kilo plates or something, you know, obviously then I might consider manipulating volume rather than just trying to do this really, really slow linear progression with the 3 sets of 5. But yeah, just grab the camera now, show you the weight on this. But please, I know I might not have said this for a couple of videos, but if you've got any constructive feedback on, you know, how I could improve these lifts or how I could improve these videos, please let me know, because it does help me out a lot. Because at the end of the day, I make these videos yes, for myself, to track my own progress, but also I want them to be enjoyable for you. I want them to be motivating for you and also educational where possible. So let me know if you got any feedback and I'll be happy to do that. Please don't just put comments like, that video was shit, because that doesn't help anyone that does it, okay? But yeah, constructive feedback, more than welcome, and any positive comments, of course. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you all next time.